Hello, beautiful people. This is Dawn, your tarot teacher here. Join me now as we continue our learning journey with the card of the Tower. Today we step into one of the most dramatic archetypes of the Major Arcana, the Tower card. And this card arrives like a lightning strike, sudden, disruptive, and undeniable. But despite its intensity, the Tower is a necessary force. It follows the Devil card for a reason. If the devil represents bondage, false identity and stagnation, then the Tower is the jolt that shakes us free. It ensures we don't remain trapped in the devil's shadow, asleep at the wheel of our own life and at the mercy of our unconscious patterns. A Tower moment can feel like a rude awakening. A bolt from the blue shakes our foundations and hits us where it hurts most. Our beliefs, our assumptions, and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. It exposes what is false, and even though this can manifest both inwardly and outwardly as crisis, upheaval or collapse, it ultimately gives us the opportunity to rebuild on truth, not illusion. In this sense, the Tower is not destruction for its own sake, it is revelation. It is the moment the ego hits rock bottom so that healing, freedom and clarity can enter. And to quote Leonard Cohen, "There is a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in." The Tower is number 16 in the Major Arcana, and 16 carries the vibration of rebirth and illumination. This is victory over the negative ego. It's a fusion of the energies of cards 1 and 6, 1 being the Magician, self-awareness and will, and 6, the Lover's card, the card of choices and discernment. When we add them together, of course, we get 7, which is the number of the Chariot. This tells us that the Tower is the outer expression of the Chariot's inner victory, a breakthrough over the shadow self, and a triumph that comes through upheaval. In Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, the Tower card is associated with the Hebrew letter Peh, which means mouth. Peh symbolizes the power of speech, revelation, and the force of expression that can both create and destroy. Just as words can bring about profound change, the Tower's energy delivers a message that cannot be ignored, one that shatters illusions and demands truth. Peh's connection with the mouth also suggests that the Tower experience often arises as a startling truth spoken aloud or as an inner realization that erupts into conscious awareness, breaking through denial or complacency. On the Tree of Life, the Tower corresponds to Path 27, which links Netzach, the sphere of emotion, instinct and desire, with Hod, the sphere of intellect, analysis and communication. This path symbolizes the turbulent integration of heart and mind, where the lightning bolt striking the Tower mirrors the descent of divine energy, clearing away what is inauthentic. Ultimately, it acts as a catalyst for transformation, forcing us to reconcile our deepest feelings with our highest truths and rebuild our lives on a foundation of genuine insight. Now let's explore the imagery of this card. A flash of lightning descending from above strikes the Tower. Fire bursts outward and a crown falls from the rooftop. This is the dethroning of the ego, the collapse of false power, false identity, and material attachments. 2 figures fall headfirst from the Tower, traditionally a king and queen. These are the same chained figures from the Devil card. They are sovereign creative beings who gave their power away, and now the universe intervenes. They fall head first because it is the mind, the old beliefs and conditioned stories that must be overturned. The clothing is symbolic. Red represents active physical energy, and the blue represents source energy, the subconscious and the receptive principle. Together they show the interplay between conscious and unconscious forces. The woman's hair even suggests the hint of a jester's cap, a reminder that the ego's illusions often make fools of us without our knowing. The lightning itself is a masculine electric force. In many traditions, it is shaped like a sword, connecting it to the lightning flash on the Tree of Life, which is the descent of divine energy from Keter all the way to Malkut, which is the material world. So here we see from the crown to the material. This shows the tower moments are not random disasters, they are divine intervention. A sudden influx of spiritual consciousness breaks down structures that cannot hold the truth. Around the falling figures, we see 22 flaming yods, which are divine sparks or seeds. 10 fall on one side, representing the 10 Sephiroth of the Tree of Life, and 12 on the other, representing the 12 signs of the zodiac, which are also connected to the Tree of Life. These archetypal forces are not grounded in the material world, but rather float within an unseen, intangible realm. They exist in the ether, forming a spiritual or psychological framework that, while invisible, underpins the process of renewal after upheaval. It is from this non-physical foundation, comprised of insight, awareness, and the lessons gained from crisis, that we begin to reconstruct our lives on firmer, more authentic ground. The tower releases us from the chains of the devil, swiftly, forcefully, and with precision. If we refuse to change on our own, the universe changes things for us. The saving grace is that the tower energy is quick. It does not linger. It clears the ground fast so that healing can begin. And indeed, the next card is the star, the soothing balm after the storm. The esoteric title of this card is The Lord of the Hosts of the Mighty. This title points to the immense, almost overwhelming force that the tower represents. In occult traditions, hosts refers to vast armies or legions, and here the hosts of the mighty are the powers of the universe, both seen and unseen, that act with sudden and irresistible strength. The Tower card is not simply about destruction for its own sake, but about a powerful intervention from a higher order that sweeps away what is false or outworn. The Lord in this title suggests a guiding intelligence or divine will orchestrating the upheaval, ensuring that the collapse serves a greater purpose, namely liberation from illusion and the restoration of truth. This title also hints at the card's connection to the spiritual or angelic realms. The forces at work are not merely physical or psychological, but cosmic in scale. The mighty are those archetypal energies depicted in the card as lightning, fire, and divine sparks that can break through any resistance. When the tower appears, it is as if the universe itself marshals its strength to shatter barriers and catalyze awakening, reminding us that even in chaos, there is a deeper order at play. Now let's take a closer look at the astrological correspondences of this card. Its element is fire, and its planetary correspondence is Mars, the red planet. Mars rules Aries and co-rules Scorpio with Pluto, linking the tower to themes of identity, power, war, death, and rebirth. Mars also rules the first house of the self and co-rules the 8th house of transformation. When Mars is in your birth chart, or where it's currently transiting, reveals where this volatile, catalytic energy is focused. At its core, the tower represents sudden spiritual awakening, unexpected change, an opportunity to rebuild on a stronger, more authentic foundation, revelation, the breaking down of old forms so we can rebuild, release from illusion or false security, freedom from limiting beliefs and attachments, divine intervention that clears away what no longer serves, and swift, irreversible transformation. In its shadow aspect, it can represent pessimism, a fear of change, releasing repressed energies in destructive ways, and clinging to outdated beliefs or structures despite clear signs that they are no longer serving us, and also despair or hopelessness in the face of endings or dramatic change. The tower reminds us that collapse is not the end, it is the clearing. Revelation often arrives in disguise, and sometimes the most profound awakening comes from the structures we never imagined could fall. Now take a moment and ask yourself, what old beliefs or structures in your life feel ready to fall away? When have you experienced sudden change, and what emerged from the rubble? How do you typically respond to unexpected upheaval? Do you resist, or are you able to adapt? When truth might be trying to reveal itself to you, does it feel uncomfortable? In what ways have the past disruptions ultimately led to your growth or insight? And what are you afraid to let go of? And what might you gain if you do? Be sure to journal any insights as they come. And so, having encountered the tower, the fool stands amidst the ruins, the dust settling around them. Though shaken by the sudden upheaval, they realize that what has fallen away has made space for something new. With fresh understanding and humility, they step forward once more, their heart open to possibility. Ahead, a gentle light beckons, the star, promising hope, serenity, and guidance for the next stage of this adventure. As the Fool's journey continues, join me next as we step into the beautiful healing energy of the star.